Kevin Keegan is remembered as Newcastle fans lay extraordinary sea of flowers outside St. James Park. Newcastle fans have paid tribute to Kevin Keegan with an extraordinary sea of flowers outside St. James Park. The grounds outside the stadium are awash with floral bouquets, Newcastle shirts, and a huge banner celebrating the Messiah. The legendary football player and manager died this week, aged 75, following a stage 4 cancer battle. His diagnosis was first revealed in January, but his family announced with immense sadness that he passed away on Monday.
Still spending forever chopping vegetables? The Full-Star Pro vegetable chopper dices onions, potatoes, and more into its container in seconds, helping make meal prep faster and tidier. Want to check today's Amazon deal? Scan the QR code now or visit grabdeal.us/2 before it's gone.
Newcastle fans paid hundreds of tributes to the club's former manager at St. James Park on Saturday, as the Magpies drew 1-1 away against Gateshead this afternoon in their first fixture since his death. Before the match, the team held a minute's silence to honor the Mighty Mouse. Dozens of fans were pictured laying flowers alongside Newcastle shirts and scarves around the outside of the grounds amid the devastation at the club's loss. Newcastle bosses are reportedly in discussions with Liverpool, their first match of the new season, to ensure Keegan's memory is marked fittingly before the game. Tributes outside St. James Park to former England forward and manager Kevin Keegan. The football icon died on Monday following a short battle with stage 4 stomach cancer, which he had begun treatment for in January. One fan left a heartfelt message along with a vintage Magpie shirt and a bottle of Newcastle brown ale. Kevin Keegan attends a team warm-up before the Premier League match at St. James Park against Middlesbrough in 2008. On Wednesday, as the Magpies head down south to play away against Bristol City, Keegan's image will be shown on screens around the stadium during the 7th minute in a nod to the number he wore during his playing career. Fans have been encouraged to give him an applause during this time. And next month, on August 15 and 16, when Newcastle men's team will face Bayer Leverkusen and Strasbourg, and the women's side will play Inter Milan, Keegan's image will again be shown during the 7th minute. It comes amid growing calls for a statue honoring the late, great football icon to be erected outside the stadium, immortalizing him forever. Meanwhile, others have said the East Stand should be renamed after him. The former forward and 1979 Ballon d'Or winner made 63 appearances for England during his playing career, having spent time at Scunthorpe United, Liverpool, Hamburger SV, and Southampton, before later playing for Newcastle and Blackburn City. One of the most famous moments of his managerial career came in 1996, when he infamously stated he would love it if we beat Sir Alex Ferguson's Manchester United. Keegan at the first day at the Boodles May Festival City Day at Chester Racecourse in Cheshire. There's only one Kevin Keegan, read one fan's tribute on an England shirt left outside St. James Park. Flowers, shirts, scarves, and a huge banner honoring the Messiah were left outside the grounds on Saturday. One supporter also left a copy of Keegan's autobiography, My Life in Football, on the steps to the stadium. Alan Shearer led the tributes to Keegan after he passed away following a short battle with stage 4 stomach cancer in January, having been admitted to hospital with abdominal problems. In a statement, his family said, "It is with immense sadness that we announce that Kevin Keegan has passed away at the age of 75. The former England player and manager had been battling cancer and was surrounded by his wife and daughters in his final moments. Kevin, a double Ballon d'Or winner, was a much-loved husband, father, and grandfather. The family would like to thank Kevin's incredible medical team for all their support. This is a hugely difficult time, and they are requesting space and privacy." And following the tragic news, figures from across the footballing world were quick to pay their respects to Keegan, who represented Scunthorpe, Liverpool, Hamburg, Southampton, and Newcastle, and later managed the Magpies twice, Fulham, England, and Manchester City. Newcastle legend Shearer said, "My hero, sleep easy boss." Former Liverpool defender Jamie Carragher added, "R.I.P. Kevin Keegan." One of the greatest players this country has ever produced, trophies and goals galore, double Ballon d'Or winner shows, he was an absolute giant of the English game. Keegan is pictured here with former England and Newcastle legend Alan Shearer in 1999. One fan left a number 7 ball on in reference to Keegan's kit number during his playing career. Another supporter left framed artwork picturing the Mighty Mouse during his playing days, one of the most important men in making it LFC what it is today. Prince William, the official patron of the FA, said, "Incredibly saddened to hear of the passing of Kevin Keegan, a truly remarkable footballer and manager who inspired generations with his talent, passion, and love of the game. Above all, he will be remembered as a kind and generous man. Our thoughts are with his family and all who knew him." Trevor Brookings said, "I am so very sad to hear the devastating news today about my friend and former teammate Kevin Keegan. My friendship with Kevin goes back many decades to our playing days for England. We were lucky enough to develop a real understanding on the field of play and know what each other was thinking. Kevin liked to run and find space on the pitch, and I'd try to time my passes to give him the best chance to use his world-class skills to score. We roomed together on England duty, and Kevin, with his bubbly character, was never shy of making jokes, often at my expense. I recently met up for lunch with Kevin and Jean when they were visiting London. Although it had been a while since we'd last seen each other, we picked up our conversation as if it had been yesterday. That afternoon, reminiscing about our footballing days, is one I will always treasure." Former England captain David Beckham posted, "Such a sad day to hear the passing of Kevin Keegan, a man that was very kind to me and my family Roman 20, sending lots of love and thoughts to his family and friends." Several of Keegan's former clubs also shared their own tribute, including Newcastle. Taking to social media, they said, "We are devastated to learn of the passing of Kevin Keegan, one of the most iconic, influential, and deeply loved figures in our club's history. Kevin was more than a legendary footballer and manager. He was the beating heart of Newcastle, united for generations of supporters." Liverpool shared their own heartfelt post, which read, "We are deeply saddened by the passing of the legendary Kevin Keegan and mourn his loss. His indomitable spirit and remarkable contribution will be forever etched in our history, and his legacy will live on." 1950, 120-26. 1968, joins Scunthorpe as an apprentice and scores 18 goals in 124 league games across 3 seasons. 1971, aged 20, signed by Bill Shankly at Liverpool for £33,000. £1,972. Makes his England debut under Alf Ramsey, a 1-0 win over Wales in Cardiff. 1977, follows his third First Division title with Liverpool by lifting the European Cup after a 3-1 win over Borussia Mönchengladbach in Rome. Moves to Hamburg that summer for £500,000, having scored 100 goals in 323 games for the Reds. 1978, wins the Ballon d'Or in his first season in Germany. 1980, returns to England, moving to Southampton for £420,000. £1,982, wins the last of his 63 England caps against Spain and Madrid at the World Cup. Ends his international career with 21 goals. Moves to Newcastle for £100,000 that summer. 1984, retires from playing after more than 750 club appearances. 1992, returns to Newcastle as manager in March, replacing Ossie Ardiles, and steers them to safety in the second tier. 1993, wins promotion to the Premier League as Division 1 champions. 1994, finishes third in his first season as a top-flight manager with Newcastle qualifying for the UEFA Cup. 1996, his side blow a 12-point lead and lose the title to Manchester United, a season that saw with his infamous rant at Sir Alex Ferguson on Sky Sports. 1998, joins Fulham as Chief Operating Officer, later taking over from Ray Wilkins as manager. 1999, appointed as England coach following the departure of Glenn Hoddle. 2000, resigns as England manager immediately after a 1-0 defeat by Germany at the old Wembley Stadium. 2001, takes over at Manchester City after their relegation under Joe Royle and secures promotion at the first time of asking. 2005, leaves City, citing his retirement from football. 2008, lured back to Newcastle as manager in January after the dismissal of Sam Allardyce, but leaves later that year after clashing with owner Mike Ashley over transfer policy. 2026, Keegan's family announce he has been diagnosed with cancer in January, and his death is announced yesterday.